Good afternoon. We are here finalizing our conference with the American Black Sexologists Association in St. Thomas. And before you, with Butterfly Love, we have Dr. Don.
Hi everyone. So I just wanted to be able to take a moment to reflect upon what a wonderful experience this has been. You know, this is my second year coming to this conference, and it's so liberating to be able to experience not only the knowledge that we all collectively gain and contribute, but also this experience that is so unique to be able to share with colleagues from around the country, and in some cases around the world, who are presenting these various aspects and identities and collective thought processes that were just so amazing and liberating as I shared. One in particular was Mary's presentation that really touched my heart. In particular, being able to identify, how do we regain our own strength and be able to make sure that we understand healing from a holistic perspective. And one exercise in particular that just really resonated with me was using a rose to be able to plant a seed, if you will, and water that to leave that, whatever it is that's causing us stress or whatever it is that's causing us to not be our full best or reach our full potential, to be able to leave that. So that experience of that particular exercise is resonating because we carry so many things with us and we're trying to always juggle and balance what it is or how we're able to show up and be on, if you will. And that was something that for me, when I put my rose petals in, I referenced stress, and not allowing any type of stress to hold me down or to prevent me from being able to be my absolute best. And that was just something that for me really, really resonated. And I'm so grateful that I had that experience. So this is something that, I commend Mary for just her energy in general. But then also, the conference, that collective energy of everyone there really resonated, and something that I definitely look forward to continuing to engage in as years go by, because this is truly remarkable and something that I think is a unique energy that is deserved, if you will, for individuals who attend this conference.
So, Dr. Don, what kind of work is it that you do that you contribute to the conversation this year? Because it was like the liberated discourse of conversation, which means open sexologists, norms or non-norms, that we're presenting new information. So what was that for you?
So I am a diversity practitioner, so a clinician by trade, but I've really used that to really expand the outlook to become a diversity practitioner. And in that, what I do primarily is really understand human experience from a collective perspective in order to understand what's necessary for us to reach our full potential, for us to be able to show up from a collective lens. And so as a clinician, what I primarily do in my role as a diversity practitioner is really understand what is necessary for us to be able to meet people where they are, to understand their collective lenses, but not only use that as a surface level perception, but really understand, as I'm getting to know you, who is Mary? And what does that mean in this time, in this space, and this experience together that we share? And so I'm very mindful of that as a clinician, but more so as a diversity practitioner, because when I'm trying to develop practices that are necessary, I'm really mindful of how do I show up for this person and create really frameworks, if you will, that are necessary for us to be able to collectively all really honor the sense of inclusiveness. And I think very often those in my line of work where we miss the mark is we understand diversity factors, but what are we really doing to foster inclusion? And that has been something that I have personally taken on as a task to make sure that we are really modeling inclusive excellence.
That sounds so awesome.
So here in this space, it was really being able to contribute to the conversation of us expanding our limited landscape, if you will, of understanding these frameworks that may be traditionally understood, but kind of just creating that energy to expand that.
Okay, so just thinking about Butterfly Love and my thought around butterflies, we transform one conversation at a time. We as professionals do the same thing, from cocoon standards cocoon status through the butterfly, and then once we make that accomplishment, we like move on to something else. And I think that was the metaphor, like behind like the roses, like understanding how strong the rose can be. It grows through concrete, but it's still nurturing, it's still soft, it's still gentle, it's still kind, to show that passion that we have for our work.
And it's necessary.
And it's necessary.
I think that part, I was recently in India, and there was something that was stated that I will continue to carry with me moving forward. And it was, the process is the prize.
Yes.
We go through all of these things, and using that analogy of a rose growing through concrete, it's like we have to go through things to get where we're going. And while we may not understand it as we're experiencing it in that moment, the beauty of the rose is still there.
Exactly.
And in spite of that, you're able to show up and in the end have this beautiful product, if you will, or flower.
Right.
And so I think that
you plant the seeds, you watch it grow, it grows through concrete. So whatever adversity, dealing with diverse and inclusiveness and relationships and interactions and intersectionality, like all of those wonderful words or microaggressions, like you could still be that rose.
And you have to identify that, because if you lose sight of being able to connect with that, then it becomes a sense of, I've lost myself in the process. But understanding that the process is not permanent. So
and you haven't lost anything, but gained so many lessons.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think we have to remind ourselves of that.
Right.
So that's what I've gained this weekend on into the beginning of this week. Is
right.
that, you know what? I'm leaving more knowledgeable. I'm leaving energized. And I left that stress in that basket because of that exercise. So it's just, you know what? I'm moving forward, excited, and looking forward to what's to come because of this experience here.
So then one last question. You received the prescription of wellness.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Like, what was that part of the exercise?
Even more, it gives you a tangible skill to take away as a reminder. Because, we do get into business as usual, behavioral patterns. And now that prescription is a reminder that, you know what, I have access to do something different and give myself permission to be able to use that prescription as necessary. So once again, just a tangible skill that now I have the actual prescription that I will use. So just remarkable.
Thank you. So thank you, Dr. Don, for this feedback in regards to your experience and us working together throughout this week, because we definitely came in one way and left out like a different way, and I appreciate that, and your compliments and your time and everything. How could people reach you if they needed to find out more about the diversity work that you do?
So the easiest way is my website, Dr. Don Trahan Jr. It's D-T as in Tom, R-A-H-A-N as in Nancy, Jr.com. And my website lists all of the things that I'm doing.
Okay.
And, I welcome that if anyone would like to learn about what I'm doing, so on and so forth. My website is the perfect place to go.
Awesome sauce. Thank you so much. I look forward to, of course, seeing you somewhere in the scope of the work that we do, since we are neighbors.
Right.
When we're not in St. Thomas. So that sounds great. So I'm going to close us out here. If you have any questions about Butterfly Love and the services that they have, you can reach us at Butterfly Love LLC. And thank you for joining. And again, thanks, Dr. Don.